Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Navtej Aluwalia and today we will be talking about retirement planning. Wait a minute, do you think you are too young to plan about your retirement? There's a saying that it's never too early to start planning for your retirement. So let me ask you this question. Do you have a retirement plan? When it comes to retirement, most people are thinking to make a big money and then enjoy the retirement they have always dreamed of. But if you don't want to leave your retirement plan to luck, you should have a plan in place. There are smart people out there that frequently check to see if they're on the right track to meet their retirement goals. They are focused and they think long and hard about what kind of future they want. And they start working on their plan without letting anything get in their way. If you are a focused and intentional person and you are in your 20s or 30s, you should have a retirement plan by now. Let's talk about why retirement planning is so important. Planning for retirement shows you a clear path from your present to your retirement, and it motivates you to take action. So take some time out and start planning for your retirement. Remember, the sooner you can start planning for your retirement, the sooner you can move forward. Now, how do you plan for retirement? First, we need to figure out what kind of retirement do you want to have. Now close your eyes and create a picture in your head. How do you want your retirement to look like? Is it $1 million in your bank account, a paid-for house, or do you want to travel the world? Think about it a little. This will provide you a starting point for your retirement planning. And this will help you answer important questions such as how much money do you need to retire and how close are you to achieving your retirement dream. Now let's calculate what should be your retirement number. Let's say you're 30-year-old and you already know what your goal is. You want to have $1,000 a week from the retirement age of 65. Let's do the math now. You are a woman and your lifespan is 94. That's 29 years after the age of retirement at 65. Assuming you want to receive $1,000 a week at retirement. Now let's calculate how many weeks are there in those 29 years. So 29 years times 52 weeks, that comes out to 1,508 weeks. Now let's find out how much money do we need if we want to survive those 1,508 weeks on $1,000 a week. 1,508 times $1,000 comes to 1.5 million approximately at the age of 65 to survive you until 94. Now being a 30-year-old, you still have 35 years left until retirement. And if we convert those 35 years into weeks, that's 1,820 weeks. Now this amount comes out to be $828 per week. Now think about it. Is it possible for you to save $828 per week for the next 35 years? Now let's figure out how and where can we start saving for retirement. To have a personal retirement plan, you need to follow these steps. Step number 1, set up a retirement goal. It is relatively easy to estimate the amount of money you will need to buy a new car or to pay a 20% down payment on your house. On the other hand, how much money you need to save for retirement is much more bigger and difficult personal financial goal, and it can feel much more difficult to set it correctly. There are so many variables to consider. Health issues, can I afford an expensive medical bill? How much time do I need for vacations? Job layoffs? Or at what age do I want to completely quit my job? Or other family issues. Now let's talk about 15% rule. 15% rule says that most people should start saving 15% of their income towards retirement starting at the age of 25. And if you start late, you may need to save more, spend less, or work longer hours. For example, a person who has started saving at the age of 35 can have a comfortable retirement living if he saves 24% of his income towards retirement from the age of 35 till 62. Or if he drops his rate from 24% to 15%, he can enjoy retirement at the age of 65 instead of 62. Now let's talk about 25x rule. Once you know what your annual retirement expenses will be, you can use the 25x rule to calculate your retirement amount. You can use this formula. Your estimated annual retirement expenses multiplied by 25 will give you the amount you need to retire. For example, assuming your annual retirement expenses will be $50,000, and 25x rule means you will need a total of $50,000 times 25, which comes to $1.25 million to retire. You will need $1.25 million to retire at 65 if your annual expenses will be $50,000. Now you can use this money without worrying about your funds being depleted early if you use the 4% rule. Now what is 4% rule? 4% rule is very easy to follow. It allows us to withdraw 4% each year from our portfolio, adjusting for inflation, for 30 years of retirement to prevent early depletion of our funds. For example, if you have $1 million in your retirement account, you can safely withdraw $40,000 during the first year using the 4% rule. Beginning in the year 2 of retirement, you can adjust this amount by the rate of inflation. For example, if the rate of inflation is 2%, you can safely withdraw $40,800. And in the third year, you can again adjust this amount to inflation. A common misconception is that the 4% rule requires retirees to withdraw 4% of their portfolio value each year. The 4% rule only applies for the first year of retirement. Step number 2, opening a retirement account. Once you know how much you need to save for retirement, it's time to open a retirement account. To encourage people to save for retirement, the government creates special type of investment accounts. Now there are different types of retirement accounts. In New Zealand, we have KiwiSaver. In Australia, it's superannuation. In UK, we have SIPP, also called SIP. And in US, we have 401k and IRA account. I live in New Zealand, so let's talk about KiwiSaver. KiwiSaver requires you to contribute a minimum of 3% into the retirement account. And in return, the company will pay 3% into the same account, eventually doubling your money. In addition to that, the government will pay up to $521 each year to the same account. Now, step number 3, choosing investments. Depending upon which country you live in, open KiwiSaver, superannuation, SIP, or 401k IRA account. Plus, mutual fund, index funds, ETFs are considered suitable for long-term retirement investments. A simple portfolio consisting bond funds and broad market index funds such as S&P 500 is a good starting point for investors. So pick one and open your account today. Step number 4, set up automatic deposits. Most financial advisors recommend establishing a pattern of regular contribution towards this retirement account, regardless of what retirement account you hold. If you are using KiwiSaver at work, it's probably already set up. This not only saves your time and energy from investing weekly and fortnightly, but also prevents you from wasting the money you want to save. Step number 5, regularly increasing your retirement saving rate. Now, you may not be able to put 15% of your income straight away into the retirement account, and that's okay. To reach your retirement goal, many financial advisors recommend increasing your contribution towards your retirement by 1% each year until they reach at least 15% of your salary. Now let's talk about how to catch up on retirement savings. If you are scared to see your retirement account balance or feeling hopelessly behind your retirement savings, it's not too late to reclaim your savings. Let's say you are 40-year-old and you have a salary of $55,000 and you have nothing saved for your retirement. It is recommended to save 15% of your gross income for retirement. This means you need to invest $688 each month towards your retirement account. If you do this for 25 years, you could reach $1 million mark by the age of 65. Yes, $1 million. That's the power of time and compounding. Aim to save at least 15% of your pre-tax income every year, including employer contributions. In New Zealand, after the age of 65, you will receive a pension from the government called NZ Super, regardless of how much you earn from work, savings, or investments. Therefore, your target saving rate for retirement may be lower. Alright guys, that's all for today. I hope you get something of value from this video, and I will see you soon with another one. Until then, goodbye.